Chapter 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's late at night, it was pitch black and everything was invisible, but there is no tranquility in the depths of the mountain. Wild beasts roar and roar like a tide. The forest can't help but tremble, and even random leaves rustle and fall, but at this moment, deep in a mountain range, looking from a distance, there was actually a soft light flickering faintly. If you look carefully, you will see that it is a weak branch. The branches are tender green, and the leaves are as crystal clear as jade, and soft shimmers can't stop spreading. This is, my golden finger, a murmur, like someone whispering in the ear, but it is not heard by outsiders. Faintly, there is only a little trembling in the air. Yu Ziyu, a time traveler, just because of a sip as the water choked him, his consciousness became hazy. When he woke up again, he was shocked to find that he had become a tree. Yes, a tree. Moreover, it was also a willow tree. All the branches hung down, like a waterfall. Generally speaking, if you look at it again, the crown of the tree is spread and scattered, the bark is gray-black, and it is cracked irregularly. If you guessed correctly, it should be a weeping willow with high ornamental value. Of course, the ornamental value is ornamental value, but weeping willows can be seen everywhere. It is also commonly used as a street tree in landscaping. Yu Ziyu didn't really care about time travel, or even time travel to become a tree. It just felt a little weird, like something far away from me suddenly happened under my nose. In the words of some people, this is not scientific. It's not scientific, but it's not scientific. However, Yu Ziyu's happy-go-lucky nature meant that he would not think too much. Being alive is already a good thing, how dare you ask for more? Moreover, he also has a very good golden finger. Turning around, I saw a weak wicker tree exuding glistening green clouds, swaying gently under the cover of night. This is one of more than 50 branches he now owns. The reason why this branch shines is just because Yu Ziyu invested 0.1 evolution points into this branch. Properties panel. Muttered, and the next second, a translucent blue light screen that only Yu Ziyu could see appeared in front of him. Race, mutated weeping willow, lifespan, 0.4/20 years, evolution points, 0.2, acquisition method, 1 receives sunlight, ingests unknown energy for refining, and the second plunders other animals and even plants, and then extracts it. Ability, a mutated branch. Mutation, looking at the content displayed on the attribute panel, Yu Ziyu also murmured softly. Immediately, his thoughts turned to that branch. At this time, the light emitted by this branch was weak and invisible. It should be the evolution is over. However, Yu Ziyu felt very strange at this time. It was as if he could freely control this branch. Yes, freely control it. Before, although he became a tree, his body was not under his control. Only when the breeze blows, his hanging branches will sway slightly with the wind, but this is normal. After all, the willow tree is a plant, not an animal. However, at this time, Yu Ziyu had felt this strange feeling, as if this branch had completely transformed into his arm. With a thought, this branch swayed gently. Then, as Yu Ziyu's mind turned, it swayed again. Swinging, even forming a circle, like a smart green snake. Interesting. The first attempt made Yu Ziyu a little excited. It could indeed be controlled, and whether it was an illusion or not, a feeling arose in his heart that he seemed to be able to do more than just this. For example, like now, fiercely puffed towards the air. Pa! Like exploding the air, a crisp sound suddenly exploded in the night sky. Then, in Yu Ziyu's stunned eyes, a white wave also crossed the night. The white wave was not long, only 2 meters long, but it was him. The traces of branches, in other words, he pumped hard one by one, and actually drew out a wave of air. This, power. If Yu Ziyu had a human body at this time, he would definitely hold up his chin and meditate. If you slap it on someone, you'll probably die. Maybe. After pondering again, Yu Ziyu said with some certainty, after all, the power of this whip must be more than just breaking the skin. It also produced a sonic boom after all, and the word sonic boom is not unfamiliar to Yu Ziyu. Even if a person holds a whip more than 10 meters long, he can produce a sonic boom. The whip will crackle when whipped at high speed. This phenomenon has been scientifically explained in the previous life. About 100 years ago, Li Hui continues to pass along the branches until it reaches the tip. At this time, the speed of the whip will be as fast as possible until it breaks the sound barrier. Then, when it passes into the air, people will feel a short and extremely strong explosion, and this explosion sound is commonly known as sonic boom. P.S. Please give me flowers and collect them dash 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 dash. Is this considered a beast style? It probably doesn't count. Asterisk caret caret asterisk, tree, a mutated willow tree, new book, please support me. If you like it, please remember to give me a small reward. Reading books on May Day is a joy. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd. Chapter 2. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. In this case, I seem to have some lethality, and I'm not weak at all. Looking at the 2 to 3 meters long green branches swinging wildly in the night sky, Yu Ziyu also felt a little emotional. I originally thought that after becoming a tree, what awaited him throughout his life would be to swallow his anger. Unexpectedly, in just a few days, he had the power to fight back. With a smile, Yu Ziyu seemed to see a very interesting scene. Those buzzing, very annoying bees, come and smoke one by one. And a pair of bees, these days, Yu Ziyu has had enough of. Those bees, the place he was in was a canyon with many wild flowers. They were not fragrant. Yu Ziyu had no sense of smell, so he didn't know. But during the day, there were a lot of bees coming and going, which was very annoying. As for this canyon, it is worth mentioning that the span is about 100 meters, and the height should be more than a few hundred meters, as if it is between two mountains. As for the specific height, Yu Ziyu can't guess. His height is only about 3 or 4 meters. There were many trees around him that were taller than him. And through the very dense trees, he could not compare the height of the canyon. However, thankfully, his vision focused on the tops of the willow trees. Now he has 360-degree vision. This feeling is weird, but it is real, a bit like the legendary white eye. Through this kind of vision, Yu Ziyu is not restricted by the dense branches that block the sky, and can observe the surroundings to his heart's content. Can these trees really grow so tall? Looking around, Yu Ziyu was a little puzzled by the large trees that could only be hugged by several people. Among these trees, there are also willows, but ordinary willows are only 20 or 30 meters high, and these willows, felt a little in my heart. Twitching, Yu Ziyu looked at these weeping willows, each of which might be 50 or 60 meters high, and was stunned. However, one thing was true. There seemed to be something strange in the air. Yu Ziyu sometimes felt warm, as if something was pouring in his own body. This feeling is very comfortable, not far different from massage. In this way, Yu Ziyu did not reject it, and even absorbed it intentionally. Of course, at this time, what Yu Ziyu did not notice was that he had seemed to have grown about 2 or 3 meters in a few days. When he first woke up, this willow tree was just a sapling. Now, it has become a small tree. Although the body is a willow tree, the consciousness still exists. In this way, Yu Ziyu naturally needed some necessary rest. After turning off his vision, Yu Ziyu seemed to be asleep. In the blink of an eye, most of the night passed, and there was a touch of white on the horizon, like a halo, which was very charming. The deep forest is also filled with moist mist. The mist was hazy, making this inaccessible ancient forest look like a fairyland. A buzzing sound came suddenly, and Yu Ziyu subconsciously opened his eyes. As soon as he saw it, a bee was flying slowly in his field of vision. It disturbed my sleep again. While complaining angrily, Yu Ziyu was suddenly stunned. Then he seemed to have thought of something and said viciously, "A gentleman's revenge is never too late in 10 years, and a willow tree's revenge is never too late in a few days." When the words fell, there was only a pop sound, as if the air was exploding, and a blue whip shadow passed through the air. Then, there was nothing more. The buzzing sound stopped suddenly. At the same time, a trace of blood mist slowly bloomed in the air. Forehead. Looking at the bee that didn't even fly out, but was directly drawn into blood mist, Yu Ziyu was also a little stunned. This power seems to be more than just terrifying, and just when Yu Ziyu was stunned, a voice suddenly sounded in his mind again. "Ding, you killed a bee, evolution point plus 0.1. Listening to this voice, Yu Ziyu felt a little calm. This was the sound of the system, but it only appeared once. Unexpectedly, it sounded again now. Is it just a reminder? After thinking about it, Yu Ziyu also gave up this idea. And turned to look at his own evolution point, really, 0.1 more. This is a big surprise. Yu Ziyu, whose reaction seemed to be half a beat slow, felt as if he had discovered a new world, and his words were full of excitement. You know, he had worked hard to be exposed to the sun for a day and barely accumulated 0.1 evolution points, but now, he just smoked. If a bee dies, there will be 0.1 evolution points. Sure enough, killing people and selling goods is the kingly way. Bah. What are you thinking? I want to be a big shot like Lu Shen. How can I kill people and buy goods? This is just natural selection. P.S. Please collect and reward. Thank you for your support. Asterisk. Crimson thanks you here. Mid-Autumn Festival National Day Family Feedback. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, September 29th to October 6th. Chapter 9. You are listening at novelfull.audio. And, there is one more thing worth mentioning, lifespan. Yes, lifespan. The lifespan of a regular willow tree is only a few decades, but it has reached 100 years, while the lifespan of a red fox is 10 to 15 years at most. This red fox has a lifespan of 30 years. TSK, this is true evolution, right? Not only does the strength become stronger, but the essence of life is also able to leap forward. After thinking about it, Yu Ziyu also seriously concluded, the moon is at the top of the sky, bright and gentle, and the soft moonlight brings peace and tranquility to the night. The light of the moon falls on Yu Ziyu's tree, leaving mottled black shadows, scattered like fragments hanging on the tree. At this time, a fox the size of a calf was lying under this tall willow tree, and howled from time to time, as if it was afraid that others would not know its existence. You little guy. The branches flew through the air and lightly slapped the red fox. Yu Ziyu was also a little helpless. This red fox was too naughty and always howled from time to time, or, he climbed up on his body to tease the group of chicks. Okay. Because of its intelligence, it knew that the 8 peregrine falcons raised by Yu Ziyu could not be eaten. Chee. A chirping sound suddenly came from the tree. Looking up, several peregrine falcons had already come out of the nest, looking warily at the red fox under the tree. One of them even chirped at Yu Ziyu from time to time, as if complaining about something. Okay, I get it. Smiling, Yu Ziyu used the driving branch to gently slap the red fox. This red fox not only disturbed Yu Ziyu, but also scared the peregrine falcons. At this time, it seemed that he thought of what. Yu Ziyu was suddenly startled. If he uses his essence to nourish the peregrine falcon, will it evolve like the red fox? As for the loss of essence, it seems to have little impact on him. It has only been half a day, and his branch has regained most of its vitality, and even the leaves are a bit green. This should be an innate ability of mine, just like the gorgeous eyes of a red fox. Yu Ziyu, who realized this, also looked at the attribute panel. Sure enough, among the special abilities, there was another one. Essence of life, the spiritual liquid bred in the body, can speed up the evolution of species and even repair injuries. However, too much is not enough. Excessive squandering will deplete one's own foundation. Looking at this extra piece of information, Yu Ziyu also smiled. That's the benefit of the system. As long as he is aware of it, the system will present more detailed information. Of course, if he didn't realize it, there was nothing he could do. It's like subjective knowledge. He is always there, you just can't see it. Perhaps, the properties panel covers a lot of content, and now, Yu Ziyu can only see a few pieces of content he wants to see. Essence of life, that the name alone makes you aware of its importance. Moreover, speeding up the evolution of species. It goes without saying what this means. It's no wonder that the red fox from before couldn't restrain his inner restlessness and walked towards him. Thinking like this, Yu Ziyu broke another branch. Crack accompanied by a crisp sound, green liquid seeped out from the incision again. Quack. Amidst the very excited voice, the red fox under the tree suddenly became restless, and its eyes were fixed on the incision where Yu Ziyu's branch was broken. There, a drop of liquid is extremely crystal clear. This is not yours. Using other branches to gently caress the red fox to comfort it, Yu Ziyu then moved the broken branch above the bird's nest. Although there are 8 peregrine falcons, they are still chicks after all. 1 drop should be enough. She pondered in her heart. Yu Ziyu is also a little worried. After all, it is about his own heritage, and Yu Ziyu is not willing to give too much. Chi 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 chi, looking at the drop of green that seemed to be dripping, the 8 peregrine falcons seemed to be attracted by something, and they all suddenly became excited. One of them is even more hairy, with its feathers standing on end. TSK, it seems that the temptation to animals is not that great. Sighing deeply, Yu Ziyu's heart sank slightly. This is not good news. If you haven't seen a pig climbing a tree, haven't you seen a pig running away? Tang monk's meat is the best example, and as he produces the essence of life that can accelerate the evolution of species is almost the same as the meat of Tang monk, not talking about those animals, just humans. Yu Ziyu has to be careful, it can accelerate the evolution of animals. Humans should be able to do it too, and if you think about it this way, taking a deep breath, Yu Ziyu felt her heart tighten. We must speed up our practice, at least until humans discover it. He must be strong enough to guard one side, otherwise, it will be reduced to fish on the chopping board, that is for sure. As for whether he could live in peace with humans, Yu Ziyu had never thought about it. Hope is not placed in others. What's more, even if they live in peace, they are based on equal status, and facing human beings' high-tech weapons. Not only him, but most of the animal and plant kingdoms are not qualified. P.S. Please give me flowers and collect them. *******. Are there any rewards? Come on. Today is the first day. There are no rewards. It doesn't make sense. Smiley face. Okay, Crimson is stunned, but, really, I hope there will be reward support. Not many, just the smallest kind. If so, Crimson, I'll give you a few more updates today. Reading books on May Day is a joy. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd. Chapter 10. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. At this time, several sharp screams suddenly woke Yu Ziyu up. Looking up, the 8 small drops of essence that had been divided into 8 parts at the incision of the branch had fallen into the mouths of the 8 peregrine falcons. Chi 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 chi. Amidst the very sharp and harsh sound, the 8 peregrine falcons also trembled slightly. Then their bodies grew rapidly. They were originally the size of fists, but now they have grown to the size of pigeons. Moreover, the most eye-catching thing is their beaks, which already have the curvature of an eagle's beak. They look extremely aggressive, with a faint cold edge. As for their claws, they were even stretched to several points. Stab pull. With a gentle tug, the entire nest was torn apart by their claws. However, at this moment, no one paid attention to the bird's nest, just because, at this time, the 8 peregrine falcons were already spreading their wings. Boom! The pointed and long wings shook slightly, causing wind and waves. Immediately afterwards, in Yu Ziyu's fleeting astonishment, all 8 peregrine falcons disappeared before his eyes. I wipe it, so fast, looking at the 8 peregrine falcons that shot out like bullets and turned into black dots in the distance, Yu Ziyu couldn't help showing a look of astonishment. Fast, it was really too fast. Generally, peregrine falcons fly horizontally at a speed of it's about 60 to 100 kilometers, only when diving downward at a 45-degree angle. Its speed reaches 386 kilometers per hour, but now, these mutant peregrine falcons have reached a speed of 100 or 200 kilometers in horizontal flight alone. Are you kidding me? If that's the case, then they're swooping. As if thinking of something, Yu Ziyu's heart suddenly thought, and at this moment, it was like an eagle's cry. The sound was extremely penetrating, like the sound of gold and iron, enough to pierce a person's eardrum. And at the moment of chirping, boom, boom, boom. 8 streaks of light came from the sky in succession, fast, incredibly fast. Even someone as powerful as Yu Ziyu, with his current dynamic capturing ability, could only see a fleeting black shadow. Then, bang, bang, bang. Not far from Yu Ziyu, a huge rock suddenly shook. Immediately afterwards, in Yu Ziyu's stunned eyes, 8 holes the size of fists appeared on the boulder. Through the hole, Yu Ziyu could even see the night sky behind him. Penetrated. A 3-meter-large boulder completely penetrated. This kind of penetrating power is probably enough to penetrate a steel plate of more than 10 centimeters. There were a few more calls, and from behind the boulder, several peregrine falcons suddenly flew staggeringly. from time to time he shook his head to shake off the dust on his body. It seems that they are not easy either. These little guys. Looking at it fondly, Yu Ziyu stretched out 8 branches. Looking at the branches, the peregrine falcon suddenly let out a cry of surprise. Then, it landed in the middle of the branch very familiarly, enjoying the caress of Yu Ziyu's branches. At this time, Yu Ziyu also noticed the panel on the head of the peregrine falcon. Race: mutated peregrine falcon, lifespan, 0.2/20 years, level. Enter the 3rd level, their natural talent, bullet dive, a speed that surpasses all others, giving them unparalleled penetrating power, enough to tear apart all defenses. Note, the side effects are very terrible. If it is not serious, before tearing the enemy apart, their bodies may not be able to withstand the burst of speed and turn into powder. Special abilities, none. It's very scary, especially the natal talent, although it's a bit like a last resort to risk one's life. After making a simple comment, Yu Ziyu looked at the peregrine falcons with slightly focused eyes, not to mention anything else. Just the sudden appearance of their natal talent makes these peregrine falcons extremely precious. Maybe it's the essence of life, maybe it's the talent of the peregrine falcon race, but no matter how you put it, the status of these peregrine falcons has risen sharply in Yu Ziyu's heart, even catching up with the mutated red fox next to him. In this era where extraordinary things are everywhere and are moving towards the extraordinary, these peregrine falcons and the mutated red fox are enough to become his right-hand man. With this thought in mind, Yu Ziyu fiddled with the branches again. A few breaths, with the efforts of Yu Ziyu's dozens of branches, a bird's nest as huge as a basin has been woven into the crown of the tree, covered by the uppermost leaves. This is the nest that Yu Ziyu weaved for 8 peregrine falcons. Birds read their nests. With this nest here, Yu Ziyu believes that they have a closer relationship with him. As for the red fox, thinking of this, Yu Ziyu's tree roots like a black giant snake writhed again. Boom, boom, boom. When the earth shook, a dark hole appeared beside the roots of a tree not far from Yu Ziyu. Go ahead. Moving the red fox's head with a branch, Yu Ziyu also smiled faintly. The fox lives in the nest. His nest made of tree roots is quite good. At least, there are already a lot of people in it. The tree roots are enough to keep warm. Moreover, Yu Ziyu also noticed faintly that the unknown substances in the air seem to be slightly thicker at the roots of his trees. It should be that the tree roots are mainly absorbing those unknown substances, and these beasts should also be. It absorbs unknown substances in the air and continuously evolves. If this is true, the nest he tinkered with is like a paradise in the cave. It is of great benefit to the red fox. There is no reason why he should not like it. Sure enough, after a while, he seems to have discovered the benefits of the nest. This red fox actually stayed in its nest and could not come out. P.S. Asking for collection, asking for flowers. Thanks to the book friend Long Zhan Yuye for the reward. Scarlet Red did not break his promise and gave it to me in an update. I published the book at 10 o'clock last night. So far, it has been updated 10 times. I believe everyone has seen Crimson Sincerity, *******. Please support us. Reminder: tickets, rewards, flowers, whatever. Please come to the bowl. More updates. You say, Crimson only cares about coding. Reading books on May Day is a joy. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd.